Excuse me. Hello everybody, please note that extension charging cables are provided beneath your tables, so you can use it to charge your laptops or phones. You can check underneath your tables. Attention, everybody. An interesting contest is happening on social media today. Look around you. You can see a square frame in the middle of this hall. That's for Instagram. And outside this room, there is another frame for LinkedIn. So all you have to do is just stand in front of the frame, take a photo, and post on Instagram. And tag us, of course. And the post with the most number of likes will be rewarded at the end of the day. Okay, so take your smartphones and, start clicking photos.
Microphone. Actually, sir, announce actually in between break, I can do paging.
You're also joining me?
Now everyone is here. Just get in the stage also.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, welcome to RedTeam Security Summit 2023. So my name is Srikanth and I'll be hosting this event today. So before we start off, let me tell you something. RedTeam Security Summit, as you see here, is one of a kind cybersecurity and ethical hacking conference in Kerala. And it was conceived, the whole idea behind this event was conceived by the brilliant mind of Mr. Jaisal Ali, who is the founder of Red Team Hacker Academy. And the whole intention of this event was to provide international exposure to cybersecurity students in Kerala. Well, this is the only event that brings together various industry leaders from across the globe to discuss, debate, and establish cybersecurity strategies. Now, this happened 5 years ago. That's when we started the first event. And after that, we conducted 4 events like this, and out of which 2 were online for obvious reasons. And the interesting thing is we've had more than 100 speakers so far on the stage, and we've conducted more than 50 workshops, and the total number of attendees have crossed 6,000. So we can say that this event has been successful so far. And now, with you all in the audience, let's make this event today a grand success as well. So now, for the inaugural ceremony, let us welcome our beloved politician, the MP of Ernakulam, Mr. Haibi Eden, onto the stage. Give him a big round of applause, guys. And now, let me welcome the man himself, Mr. Jaisal Ali, founder and director, Red Team Hacker Academy. Now, it is a privilege to invite Mr. Dinesh Bareja, cybersecurity specialist and COO at Open Security Alliance. Now, it's an honor to invite Mr. Vipin Pavitran, assistant professor, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. Mr. Ahmad Halabi, the director of Resecurity. Welcome, sir. Mr. Taha Halabi, Customer Relations, Resecurity. Now, Mr. Smith Gonzalez, Director, Cybersecurity Secure. Correction, Cybersmith Secure. CISO Terra Eagle. Can I have you on, sir, please? I would also like to welcome Senior Information Security Consultant, NSC IT Limited, and Mr. Mohammad Arif, Senior Product Security Engineer, Paytm. Now, for the inauguration ceremony, I'm sorry about that. It's an absolute privilege in welcoming Ms. Pooja Joshi, Senior Director, EC Council. Okay. And last but not least, we have Mr. Walid Faour, Penetration Testing Lead, Resecurity. Welcome, sir. Now, let's kick off the inauguration ceremony by lighting the lamp, which kind of relates to our tradition. And for that, let me also welcome Ms. Chesna Jaisal onto the stage. May I now invite Mr. Haibi Eden to light the lamp and kickstart this summit. Mr. Haibi Eden is now lighting the lamp. Mr. Jaisal Ali. Mr. Dinesh Vareja. Mr. Bipin Pavitran. Ms. Pooja Joshi is now lighting the lamp. Now, let me ask Mr. Jaisal Ali to step forward to hand over the memento to Mr. Haibi Eden. Can we have the memento, please? Now, may I invite Mr. Haibi Eden for his inaugural address. Give him a big round of applause, guys. Mr. Haibi Eden.
My dear friend and the leader of the RedTeam Security Summit, Mr. Jaisal, distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, students and experts who are taking part in this security summit. RedTeam Security Summit have organized the 5th edition of this event, and it's a great honor and privilege for somebody like me to be a part of this event. I think that everybody inside the conference hall except me are either aspirants or experts in this particular field. I am the only person, the odd one out in this summit. We are the most unfortunate lot, the political lot. Even though I'm an expert in lighting the lamp, I don't think I'm an expert in hacking or ethical hacking. So we are the most unfortunate lot who are invited to take part in all the channel discussions every night. Either it might be on the Indian nuclear deal or it might be on the Indian Premier League. under which we all have to take part and give our views on. But I am a public representative, a member of the parliament representing this constituency, who actually doesn't want to take part in subjects which I am not aware of, or to speak on subjects which I am not aware of. But being a lawmaker, it is always my privilege to interact and intervene with organizations and teams and youngsters like you to understand the language of the new generation. It is very important when you make a law to understand the perspective of people working in this particular field. And it's always an immense pleasure and joy to be interacting with the young people of our country. Cyber laws are quite strong in our country these days. New laws have been in place. But even now, cyberspace is the most unsafe arenas in our communities. We usually say that women or people are unsafe in maybe a dark road, in not a very lit road. But in today's community, I believe that cyberspace is one of the most unsafest place. And there are many reasons for that. Previously, if we used to have goons, now we have a different version of goons who are known as the cyber goons, who rigorously attack you, who hacks your accounts, who does all kinds of financial transactions online. So this is a huge community where a lot of positive things can happen. As clearly mentioned by Jaisil, this is a conference. And the experts who are here, or the aspirants or students who are here, are being trained in different arenas where we can use that very positively in our community. I'm pretty sure that this is a larger version, or it's a huge platform where not just accessible to everybody. The laws should be made aware to everybody. I think cyberspace should be a more harmonious place to be in. And I believe that this security summit can to a much larger version of that harmony. I wish the team all the very best and congratulate team Red Team Security Summit for organizing such a beautiful event in a very short time. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Haibi Eden, for emphasizing the significance of cybersecurity in today's day and age. Now, to officially welcome you all to this event, let me invite the founder and director, Red Team Hacker Academy, Mr. Jaisil Ali. Put your hands together for Jaisil Ali.
A very good morning, all of you, to RedTeam Security Summit Season 5. I'm really honored and glad to be here in front of you today to welcome our esteemed guest and the speakers, especially our chief guest, Haibi Eden MP. He's having a very tight schedule today. Thank you so much, sir, to be with us on this occasion. And I welcome Dinesh Bareja. He's the COO, Chief Operating Officer of Open Security Alliance. He's the one who supported us in the first event, RedTeam Security Summit, back in 2018. I welcome Dinesh, sir, and Vipin Pavitran, sir. He's the professor of Amrita Vishwavidyapitham, and Pooja Joshi, Director of EC Council. Ahmed Halabi, my friend, he's traveled from UAE to join us today. He's the Director of Resecurity MENA region. Taha Halabi, Customer Relationship Executive from Resecurity. Walid Four is a penetration testing lead from Al Shaya Group. Thank you so much for joining us today from your schedules. Smith Gonsalves is the Director Cyber Smith Secure, and Aditya, they are on the way to join us. Sidon D'Souza, Senior Information Security Consultant, NSC IT Limited, and Mohammed Arif, Senior Product Security Engineer, Paytm. They represented a beautiful community from the country, Seasides, and thank you so much, Seasides, for supporting us to be the sponsor of today's workshop, Hardware Hacking. So we started our journey in 2018 as RedTeam Security Summit. We saw a huge gap in the community or in the region where students or enthusiasts or cybersecurity enthusiasts didn't have much exposure or maybe accessibility to meet the experts or to meet the subject matter experts in the industry. That's where we initiated RedTeam Security Summit in 2018 to be a platform for all the aspirants, all the security enthusiasts to interact with the professionals or subject matter experts or the industry itself. With a very large canvas, we started from Calicut. That was the first of its conference in Malabar. This is actually our 5th edition, in fact, a 6th year. So we proved our vision was actually on a right track, that we helped many students to get into the cybersecurity field through hosting multiple events locally. Also during the COVID, it was a very challenging time for all of us, but we hosted it online, and it's like we served this vision to almost like 20 plus countries and almost like 20 plus communities, security communities itself. So we started this initiative just to help the enthusiasts to be on their right place. So this time, thank you so much all our supporting partners, EC Council, Resecurity, Calicut Forum for IT, GTech, and especially our community partners. A special thanks to Seasides and my friend Prashant, he is not here. So very glad to host Seasides in our RedTeam Security Summit. And we do have other communities also, ASRG, Women in Cybersecurity, GDG, ISRG, so it's ISRA, and many other communities who helped us to partner for this mission. So finally, our media partner, Bluepin, and thank you so much, all of you who gathered here, traveled from many parts from outside the state, and thank you so much our speakers as well, who are actually traveling from very busy schedule from outside the country as well. Looking forward, and I wish you all have a great event today with a lot of takeaways. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jaisal Ali. Now to felicitate this event, let me call up Mr. Dinesh Bareja, Chief Operating Officer at Open Security Alliance. Mr. Dinesh Bareja, can I have you on the podium, sir? So welcome him. Put your hands together. Okay. Give him a big round of applause. Okay. To Dinesh, sir.
So I don't know why I'm here first. I was not supposed to be. My name is not there, and my picture is not good also. So
you look great,
the
sir.
picture, look at me. I have a big problem with the picture actually. It's for the last 4 years. Everybody puts that same picture, and I'm trying to get it off the line. So any of you guys who can help me get it off Google, please get in touch with me. Anyway, good morning everyone. I'm Dinesh Bareja, and this is a pleasant surprise. Of course, it was a pleasant thing to be here, firstly, for the RedTeam Summit. And it's always been a pleasure. Sorry? No, I'm okay. I won't move, don't worry. So, it's always been a pleasure to be at RedTeam, and This was a surprise. I didn't expect my name to be called. My name was not there. So, but great to see a lot of big crowd over here. Some of you know me, and many of you don't know me, and many of you I don't know also. It'll be great to know you guys. So I run a small firm called Open Security Alliance. I've been running it for the last 20 years or so. I am not in the technology space. I do understand. I've picked it up over the years. And I work in what we call GRC. I don't know how many of you are familiar with what GRC is. Can you put your hands up and let me see how many of you know what GRC is? Nobody? I'll have to start a training center over here now. But I do training, yes. I can do GRC training free of cost also. But please remember one thing, all of you guys would be doing ethical hacking and doing all the EC Council programs. Now EC Council does not do any GRC program, they do cover GRC somewhat. But for all you enthusiasts and all of you learners and all of you professionals over here, I would just like to say that GRC is also an essential part of whatever you are learning and what I call the whole universe of cybersecurity. And if there is no GRC, you would not be doing ethical hacking. And when you do ethical hacking, you have to report to somebody who's in the GRC segment. So you will somewhat wonder that why is this guy asking me questions when he doesn't understand what a CVE is also, or what a vulnerability is. And he does not know what I've reported to him, whether I can close it. You can just go and tell him it's closed, and he will mark it closed. But please don't do that. You will put some people at risk, and that would be an issue. So anyway, coming back to the profession of security, cyber security, or information security, whatever we may call it, I would say it is today the most exciting thing happening. And with ChatGPT, it has become more exciting. It has become more exciting because now you have to go back to what you learned in school and college, that when you are cheating with chat, you have to be very careful. It has made it exciting because what you can do in what you were doing in about 2 days' time, you will do it in 2 hours' time or maybe in 2 minutes. But the problem is that we tend to go via a shortcut and we land up in trouble. So we have to see what the shortcut is and where it takes you from. So that is one area. And of course, like I was talking to sir on the way here, and he told me that AI is the most exciting and the most wanted stream in today's age or today's day in Amrita also. And yes, it will be, because even the government thinks of it, I would say it's a high priority over there also. It's a high priority everywhere. But please take care when you are doing this. It's like hacking. Everyone was doing hacking at one time. Then one fine day we said, please be ethical while hacking. So everybody is into the AI bandwagon today. But please be ethical. And actually, you should read twice before you start doing anything over there. So that is one word of caution. Coming back to the business and to the profession of cybersecurity. In the last 20 years, I must say I have only one regret, that there are only 24 hours in a day. That is the biggest regret. Because in 24 hours, you cannot learn or you cannot read and you cannot actually, take pleasure in what you're reading, what's happening across the world. What is happening every day, every moment. Not just the incidents, but even the developments. Take a look at it right from, let's take only a very simple example of viruses. We just knew I love you one time. Somebody made it. And a virus came into play. The virus became a Trojan. It became a worm. Right? It became malware. It became APT. And it became an exploit also. So just a virus, it is still a virus. But we are learning it in different ways. So you can open up, I would say you can spend maybe 1 year or 2 years or even 10 years, you will still not know what a virus is. That is the most exciting thing, or that is the most challenging thing about cybersecurity. And not just in the technology part, which all of you guys sort of tend to get stuck into. And I'm trying to say, don't get stuck in that technology. You have to look at the 360 degree of cybersecurity, even when you're doing a pen testing or an AppSec. Where is it coming from? What is it going to do? And why? If you're just starting out or a year old, you will learn about it in a few years' time that no, what I'm testing, there is a bigger picture over there. And that big picture is what you have to look at. The only way you can be successful is by looking at a big picture, 360 degrees of whatever you do. Why is it happening and where is it happening? And what is the function over here? Why am I testing this application? Where is the application going to? What is the infrastructure going to do? All those things. But yes, let's not go very deep into it right now. My point was just, okay, he called me to say something, I have to say something, and I said something. Primarily it is this, that yes, this is the most exciting area to be in. Forget AI, you're still in the most exciting area. Huge amount of opportunities for everybody if you are ethical and if you are learning. Like I said, 24 hours is less time. So be careful, be prepared to put in more than 24 hours a day. You just eat, drink, sleep, dream, cybersecurity. Prepared to do that? Welcome. I'll see you, most of you will become CEOs, CISOs in a very short period of time, but like I said, eat, sleep, dream, and work hard. So good luck to all of you guys over here, and drop by, have a chai coffee with me if you want to, and hear some more gyan, and be happy. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Dinesh Bareja, for throwing in some wisdom into the audience. Now, let me invite, with great honor, Ms. Pooja Joshi, Director, EC India Council. Ms. Pooja, can I have a few words?
Thank
Everybody,
you so much.
we want to give her a big round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. Oh my God, that's not the good morning I expected. Good morning, everyone. Wonderful. So, thank you so much. I think it's an honor to be part of this summit today, organized by RedTeam. As everybody said, I'm from EC Council, and I'm sure you must have seen EC Council or heard EC Council somewhere. And if not EC Council, I'm sure you've heard a word called Certified Ethical Hacker. Have you? Yes. So Certified Ethical Hacker certification is our baby. Right, we are the certification body. And I'm very happy that RedTeam is our partner who's delivering these certifications successfully from last many years and placing students in one of the renowned organization. So these kind of summits, what RedTeam has organized is actually an interesting thing for every youth or the working pro who's interested in making a career in cybersecurity or probably already a part of cybersecurity. You know why? Because of the simple reason that one, you hear from the people who are already in the industry from last many years, and you hear their perspective, that how the industry is happening, what is happening in the background. Second is when you look at the debates which happens, you get the point of views. Because you are the people who will make a career in probably next few years or working on these hacking activities or the cybersecurity activities. Let me tell you that cybersecurity is going to be the hottest topic from minimum next 20 years, though it's going to be lifelong, but it is the hottest topic for the next 20 years. You know why? Because we are not constrained only with some organization or maybe like a BFSI sector or the IT sector. Cybersecurity is the need of an hour by every organization. You know why? Because of the simple reason, hacking has gone up. As Sir recently said that earlier we used to have goons on road and now we have the cyber goons, right? Who will stop that? You will stop that. And how will you stop that? Because these are the platforms which give you immense learning. You will learn. I'm sure there is a workshop also in the afternoon where you'll experience the hardware hacking, right? Those experiences will actually take you to the organization wherein you are productive from day one, right? So these workshops actually gives you a fair idea about the content, about the industry, hear from the experts, and also have a hands-on experience on how you can take that forward. So with that thought, looking forward to attend a great event with all of you today here, and best wishes. Have a rocking day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Pooja Joshi, for sharing your information with us. And now, we're going to have a talk, an academic talk. But before that, let me request all our dignitaries to kindly join the audience. Okay, thank you. We'll be starting the talk soon. In the meantime, guys, if you haven't taken the photos, okay, I'll remind you again. There's a photo contest going on. In the middle of this room, you can see a frame. Go over there, take a photo, and post it on Instagram, tagging us. And by the end of the day, the post with the most number of likes will be rewarded. Meanwhile, a quick word about our partners and sponsors. The whole event is powered by RedTeam Hacker Academy, RedTeam Cybersecurity Labs. Our community partners are GDG Kozhikode, Seasides Conference, Init Crew Community, Novella, ASRG, ASRG Kerala, ISRA, WICS, Women in Cybersecurity, B-Sides Ahmedabad, Coffee with Red Team. Our supporting partners are Resecurity, EC Council, GTech, CAFIT, Calicut Forum for Information Technology, ISC, International Information System Security Certification Consortium. Our knowledge partners are Experience, Red Team 360, and Pentest Garage. This workshop is sponsored by Seasides Conference. Our media partners, Bluepin, and our event partner, Anar Events. Now this is where the real show begins. We're going to start our first talk of the day, and the subject is Mastering the Cybersecurity Craft. And to speak, let me invite someone who's a very special person, someone who's truly a master, someone who's currently a professor at Center for Cybersecurity Systems and Networks, Amrita University, Amrita campus, who's got 10 years experience in the software industry, and he has worked for Fortune 500 companies as well as startups in India and USA. He's the founder and chief mentor of amforce.in, which is one among India's top 10 open source club since 2007. He's also the founder and chief mentor of bios.in, India's first and #1 cybersecurity team since 2007. He's also the founder and chief mentor of Team Shakti.in, first and only women-only CTF team in India since 2017. So it's a great honor to welcome Mr. Vipin Pavitran onto the stage for his talk. Give him a big round of applause, guys.
sip on his water.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank Jaisal for having me here. I work as a professor at the Amrita Center for Cybersecurity. Generally, I'm a very introverted person. I don't go for talks and all that. But he invited me to give this particular talk, so I'm here. So the topic is mastering the cybersecurity craft, and I will share my experience of forming this team called Team BIOS, which is currently the #1 cybersecurity team in India. And I hope that many of you will also start getting excellence into cybersecurity. So I will give you some tips. But whatever I'm saying is not the only way. There are many ways of doing the same thing. So just take this as a grain of salt. One method will not work for everyone. So the agenda is I'll just give a brief introduction and then the journey of Team BIOS and suggestions to excel in cybersecurity. I can't remember the last time I stood in a queue for buying train tickets. Probably before 2015, I think. Internet has changed all of our lives. The way we purchase tickets, our entertainment, education, any particular field that we are in, internet has changed everything. But along with that, also a lot of the crimes have come online. Like, our MP Habib was saying, there are cyber goons. So a lot of such things are also happening. There is a loss, financial loss that is happening through the internet. Infrastructure is getting attacked. And there is also loss of lives that can potentially happen. I'll talk about a few, incidences that happened. Here is a map where there is a pipeline. This is a pipeline that is carrying refined petroleum from Texas, from Houston, Texas, all the way to New York. The distance is about 8,850 kilometers. So just to give you a perspective, from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, it's less than 3,500 kilometers. So here it is around 8,850 kilometers. So this is just the map of the US. You can see from Texas all the way to New York. That's the, the pipeline. So it's called as the Colonial Pipeline, and it carries all this petroleum from there. So on 7th of May 2021, about 2 years ago, there was a ransomware attack. Any of you have heard of this attack? Nobody? Okay, so this ransomware attack, disrupted this entire colonial pipeline, which was, refining this particular oil. So all the petrol prices went up instantly, and a lot of flights has to be diverted. The reason for that is because, this is also, there are two pipelines. One was also carrying the jet fuel. So for about 6 days, there was a lot of disruption just because of this one particular ransomware attack that happened. And this one is a recent attack. Those who are interested can read more about it. About $5 million was paid, but also I think a lot of the infrastructure got dismantled of this group called Dark Side. And then some of the money was returned back, but there was a lot of disruption. A lot of people's lives were left uncomfortable. Anybody heard of this one, Stuxnet? Anyone over here heard of Stuxnet? Okay, so none of the students have heard of it. So this is the world's first cyber weapon. So whatever code that you're writing now can be, a weapon. We have seen, machine guns or bombs as weapons, but code as a weapon. So now, for the first time, code was used as a weapon in this particular attack, Stuxnet. This happened in June of 2010. There are a lot of interesting videos on this particular, malware. I would recommend that, you should go and watch these videos. So this happened to be an attack on the nuclear reactor in Iran. There is a nuclear enrichment, plant over there at a place called Natanz. And so typically these nuclear power plants or other critical infrastructures, they are protected by what is called as an air gap. Air gap means that there is no connection to the outside world. There is no internet from there. There is only intranet. So if there is only intranet, there is no way some viruses or malwares can get inside. But yet, it was somehow the malware got inside this particular plant. And so how it happened is through a USB. So somebody has to give software updates within the intranet. Software has to be updated. So while somebody was doing an update with a USB, there was a malware that got infected on that USB, and then it infected this particular power plant. So what happens is there is a centrifuge. The centrifuge rotates at a particular speed, and then it enriches uranium. So suppose it is rotating at 85 RPM. What the malware did is it made it rotate at 185 RPM. But the display shows that it is rotating at 85. And so within months, what is happening is that the centrifuge breaks down, and it physically breaks down. And then much later, it was found that it was because of this particular malware. Anybody heard of this black energy malware? Okay, so this one again, happened in around December of 2015. A lot of these cyber attacks happen around Christmas time. I think that is the time where most of the people are on holidays, and the personnel is less. So even last year, the year before, a lot of these cyber attacks happen around this time. So the effect of this was there was power loss for about 6 hours for about more than 2 lakh people. So many people lost their power for only about that much time. There is a very interesting article which I would like all of you to read. It's a very insightful article. This article was written in 2016 actually, so several years ago. So how will you find this? You just Google for hack that can bring down New York City. This is a very interesting article. I don't have time to go into the details, but it talks about actual attacks that has happened. For example, Black Energy, Stuxnet, and Colonial Pipeline, etc. And if they were coordinated, so this is an interesting article. I would recommend all of you to read it. So now with that, that was just to show you that there can be a great financial loss, loss of infrastructure, etc. Now I'm coming back to the first part of my talk, which is the introduction to the clubs and the journey of Team BIOS and FOSS. So FOSS Club, as the name suggests, is a free and open source software club. Before that, these are some of the teams that I have helped founded. There's Team BIOS, which is a CTF team. We started with around 4 students in 2006-07. Today there are more than 150 students in this particular club. And we have different areas also. That is pen testing team, hardware team, tools team, where we work on cybersecurity tools. And Team Shakti is a woman-only CTF team. And we also organize a lot of events, and I'll come to that later. And I also have recently started a startup called Traboda Cyber Labs. Now coming to the FOSS Club, basically, I worked in the industry for about 10 years. And what I found out is that a lot of times the academia is unable to prepare students for the industry, what is needed. So there are a lot of skills. Unfortunately, there is only limited time and there is a lot of subjects to be covered. So within that particular time, it is becoming very difficult to make students industry ready. So because of that, I've started some clubs which are outside the academia. So these clubs, the students who are interested come to these clubs after the classes are over and they work on various things. So in this particular club, students develop their coding skills by writing code, contributing to various open source software. And why is that useful? The main thing is that if you want to improve your any language skills, whether it is English or any other language that you want to improve, one of the ways of doing it is by reading books which are written by very good authors. So when you read such books, your language naturally improves. So here students get to read code written by some of the best in the industry. So they read Linux kernel code, the just-in-time compiler of Firefox, etc. A lot of these code that are, very well written. So as a result, you also are inspired to write good code like that. So another thing I want to tell you, since most of your students, the students who come to these clubs are just like any other students over here or anywhere in the world. They don't have any extra, powers or anything like that. It's just that they spend extra time working. So they spend a lot of time, outside their classroom hours to work. So some of the, things that our students did, we came first in India in 2007 in the Code for Freedom contest, which was basically contributing to various open source softwares. This was organized by Sun Microsystems. Now it is bought by Oracle. And our students traveled to California for the Java 1 conference, which was conference on Java. And then a lot of students get to go to master's program in Europe and US, exchange programs, etc. Student exchange programs. There are summer schools. A lot of students get to go to summer schools. So these are all various opportunities that any one of you will have. And you can find out more about all these, and any one of you can get into these opportunities. I was a trainer for the ICPC. Anybody of you have heard about ICPC? It's the Olympiad of Programming Contest. So it's like a competition where students compete with each other to solve a particular problem at the fastest time. So after trying for about, we started trying for this from 2009. And it was only in 2014, our team qualified to go for the world finals. So, it requires a lot of effort to get to do something like that. And recently, our students won gold medal in the web technologies. There is a contest in the future skills. So this was the first time in 2007 that, before this particular event, the biggest thing that our university, Amrita University, was known for is getting a second prize in a dance event. So it's not a technical event, right? So the students, when I formed a team, the students were not at all confident. They were saying the reason why they were not confident is that they said we do not have a history. None of our seniors have done it. So, how do we do it? So, that may be also a problem that some of you have with confidence. If I have time, I'll get to the end of the talk and discuss about this particular thing. It's very important that you have to try. It doesn't matter whether you're going to win or lose. You just keep trying. There are a lot of these contests, and these contests help you to develop skills. And there are a lot of hackathons that are going on, a lot of contests are going on. Make sure you register for these contests and try them out. Therefore, you will develop a lot of skills. This is something that I have seen. This again in 2008, we came first in the Sun Code for Freedom. This was held in Hyderabad. Any of you have heard of Google Summer of Code? Nobody? Okay. So again, this is something, if you haven't heard of it, I think you should search for it. You get paid for contributing to various open source software. And this FOSS Club is ranked 10th in the world in 2024. And several students keep getting selected for this. Again, it is not very difficult. There are a lot of documentation, a lot of videos are there on how to get started with Google Summer of Code. I would recommend that you get started with this also. The students get to travel, a lot, sponsored, and attend various talks. So if you do some work, you can go and speak about this work in various other events. And, you also get sponsored for going there. So it's really cool. You can get to meet a lot of people. So all such opportunities are available. So these are some of those events. Okay, now I'll come to Team BIOS because most of you here are interested in cybersecurity. We started this team in 2007, as I said, and the way we started this is, our chancellor of our university, Mata Amritanandamai, I had gone and asked her, what is the best way to help students to develop their skills? And at that time, she told me, make them compete in a healthy manner, and this competition can help to bring out, your talent. And with that in mind, I started searching for various competitions. That's how I started. And then I came across this competition called Capture the Flag. So this was in July of 2007. And we had no idea what is Capture the Flag, what is security. We had absolutely no clue. But we just, took part, registered and took part. And there was a lot of, learning experience in that 2 weeks. And students, gave a wonderful feedback that in all their, semester of networking course, they have not learned so much. There was so much of learning that is happening just by taking part in these events. So that's how, Team BIOS was formed. And as I said, today we have more than 150 students. And it will be good that some of you also can start something like this in your colleges and in your campus, because it will help you to really develop critical cybersecurity skills. So when you say number one, who is actually, measuring it? There is an organization called CTF Time. So if you go to CTF Time, you will see the list of, rankings of various CTF teams across the world. So this one is just specific to India. Currently, we are 21st in the world. And this is only the Indian ranking I've taken. So if you go to this website, all of you should know about this website because it lists the upcoming CTFs, which are, new. Every weekend there is a contest. Every Saturday, Sunday, throughout the year, there is some competition or the other going on. So if you go to this particular website, you can find out what are all the competitions that are there and register and then take part in these competitions. So I'll go through this very quickly. This is just the timeline of Team BIOS. 2007 we started, and actually it took us 3 years to figure out how to solve a CTF challenge. We had no clue what was going on. We had no idea. There was not much videos. There was not much instruction. So it took us around 3 years to figure out how to actually play CTF. And 2011 and 12 we were invited to go to Russia to go to the the CTF over there, finals. And ever since, our students have traveled into a lot of different countries to take part in these final events. And in 2010, we started this event called Amrita in CTF. So that's something that I would recommend all of you take part. The reason we started this was that typically these contests last for 24 to 48 hours. And a beginner finds it difficult to get into this. How do you take part and all that? So we do not have much beginner-friendly Capture the Flag contest. So this particular event, the advantage is it's running for about 3 to 4 months long. And even if you do not know anything about security, you can easily get started over here, and prizes are also given to beginners only. So we ensure that, only beginners get prizes, and we have an on-site event at the end of the competition, and then prize is given to that. So I would highly recommend, if you are a beginner and you want to get into security, this is one of the ways. There are many other ways, of course, but this is one of the ways. We also started an event for school students, actually. In 2015, we wanted to just try, with school students. And I was really surprised to find out that even school students are able to do, reverse engineering, assembly, etc. So I had my apprehensions. I was just wondering, is it possible for school students to, do all these things that even our master students are finding it difficult? But I was wrong. There were several school students who were able to do really well. And in fact, they went on to do a lot of wonderful things later. I'll skip through this. Just sharing some photos. So this was in 2011 and 12, where our team was invited to Russia for the PhD's finals. And these are some of the recent conferences and CTFs that our students traveled to attend. So there is all these opportunities. Any one of you can get these opportunities, and you should. You work for it, you will get all these opportunities. I'll come to that in the second part of my talk. Now, what can you do to, enhance your resume, enhance your cybersecurity skills, etc. So students, we have a hardware team. We designed and built this particular badge for our INCTF. So it's not just software, but we also have a hardware team, and this was featured in various prominent magazines that we built this Star Wars themed hardware security badge, and it's also used for teaching IoT security. This is what I was mentioning about INCTF. This has become India's largest capture the flag. There was about 17,000 students. We partnered with CBSE. So if you have your brothers, sisters, or others who is interested in getting into security, you should tell them to get started with INCTF Junior. Again, this is running for 3 months long event. There are a lot of good cash prizes to be won, up to 3 lakhs cash prize to be won by taking part in this contest. So I'm just skipping all this. So now I'll just give you some suggestions that you can all try. And as I said, these are only few suggestions. There may be different paths. One path does not work for everyone. There may be different ways that people can do. So these are only few suggestions. So may work for some people, may not work for some people. But I'm just anyway going to give you some of my suggestions. We've seen these current trends in cybersecurity. Every single day there is, some attack or the other that is happening. Now with AI, voice morphing, video morphing, and, all such calls are happening. Increasingly there is, more disruption. But when you say about cybersecurity, I've just put some job roles. There are so many different job roles. Sometimes students comes to me and say, I do not know how to code. Can I get into security? Yeah, even it doesn't matter whether you know to code or not. There are a lot of different job roles in cybersecurity, and if just your interest matters. I've seen students who are studying law, mechanical engineering, or any particular branch, they can get into cybersecurity. It's not that you have to be an ace programmer to get into cybersecurity, because there are different roles that are there. I'm just listing some of them. So here are my suggestions how you can get started. First and foremost is, don't think that you can become an expert just by spending little amount of time. I would say, at least if you decide that you want to be good at security, at least say that, I will dedicate 3 years to cybersecurity. I'm hoping after that you will continue also. That's why I just put 3 years. So you have to dedicate a lot of time and energy for it. That's the first point. Without that, I don't think you can make much progress in any field. It doesn't matter whether it is cybersecurity or any other field. So you have to be mentally prepared that you're going to spend a lot of time. So another skill, as I said, this is not for everyone. If you don't like coding and all that, that's okay. But this is for those who like to code. Typically, when you are in a university, you may code maximum of 1,000 lines of code in your final year project. Most students, get to do that. And unfortunately, a lot of students also, buy this code, buy your final year project, thereby, depriving yourself an opportunity to learn. So, you have to, it is not very difficult. It's not at all difficult to do. You just have to get started. And today there are a lot of free tutorials and options for, reading and writing code. So one of the first things that I do with students is that make them comfortable with technology. And a lot of students are not comfortable with technology for whatever reason. So, students need to understand that technology is a means for solving a problem. There may be some problem that you're facing, and technology is a way for solving that particular problem. So typically when first year students come, they say, sir, I want to learn Java, or, I want to learn AI. I want to learn, this particular thing. I try to, change the focus and say that what is the problem that you're interested in solving. So for example, just making up a problem. Students are going home for vacation and they're coming back from the vacation, and assume that, it's about 500 rupees auto charge from the station to the university. So you want to figure out there are, other students at the same time so that you can do some ride sharing. I mean, there are solutions for it. So then, students are asked to build a solution for this. It could be a simple WhatsApp group, or it could be an mobile app that can solve this particular problem. One thing I tell all my students is technology is unlike traditional subjects. For example, like mathematics or physics or music, art. Compared to that, technology, the issue is that it keeps changing so rapidly. It just continuously keeps changing, so that by the time whatever you have studied, when you start working, a lot of it may be obsolete already. So what I focus on is learning to learn and just-in-time learning. I'll repeat that: learning to learn and just-in-time learning. That means I don't want to take a book, download a whole book on Java or Python and read the entire book. So that's how you study other subjects. When you study physics or any other subjects, you go chapter by chapter and study. But when you are using technology, the first thing I say is understand what you want to do. So the students are interested in solving a particular problem. So only learn that part of Java or whatever is needed, not the entire book. So this is some of the things that we do in the club, where students are focused not on learning the entire thing. They don't download a whole lecture and then read all of that. You just learn only the bare minimum. Be lazy. Just learn the bare minimum that you need to solve the problem. And later when you work on something for a long time, then you develop more expertise. But to begin with, this is something that I suggest. Maybe you can also try it out, because technology is changing so rapidly. You need to keep learning to learn, and just learn only what is needed, not the entire technology. So yeah, coming to the other thing is that try to read code every day. 15 minutes you spend your time reading code. So there are a lot of open source code that are beautifully written. Every day, if you invest 15 minutes, if you're traveling in a bus or wherever you are, just read the code for 15 minutes. That also helps you to develop your skills a lot. The next thing is learning automation. This is why do we have computer program? Why do we write programs? We write programs for solving something that we want to do. So in order to make the students to think in this particular way, I have given some hypothetical problems. For example, you want a particular tweet with a particular hashtag from the internet. So then they write a Python program to get that particular tweet. Maybe there is a CSV file, comma separated value file, which has maybe some data. And you want to pre-fill that, you read that particular data from the Excel sheet and then transfer it into a website. Again, you can write a Python program for doing it. So we have a set of 5 or 10 exercises that the students learn to think in this particular way. Automation. This comes in very handy when you are writing exploits, when you're doing security, because you want to automate exploitation or various tasks. So this particular skill comes handy there. Today there are a lot of AI tools. Most of you have heard of ChatGPT, but other than ChatGPT, there are a lot of AI tools that are available, and it is very useful for you to learn how to do that, because it helps you to improve your productivity. So whether you want to start your own cybersecurity team, it is possible that in your college you may not find other people who are interested to do this, or whatever. These are some of the things that I recommend. First is to start learning Linux basics. The reason I'm not against Windows, most of the students are using Windows anyway, and they know how to use Windows. So that's why I recommend them to start with Linux. One of the first things I do is they format their machine, and then they learn to install, and they become confident doing that. So these are the suggestions that I have. One is to learn basics. Then there are a lot of beginner CTFs. As I said, Amrita InCTF Junior are beginner-friendly CTFs that run for a long time. But there are also high school CTFs, which are typically for school students. So, they are also beginner-friendly. Nobody will, stop you from taking part in school CTFs. So this is a good way to get started. So there is something called HSCTF, that's high school CTF. Anybody heard of PICO CTF? Okay. All right. So if you are interested in this in security, this is something you should do. Today itself, you should go ahead and register picoctf.com. This is again for school students, but you don't have to worry about that. It's a very good way to get into security and different aspects of security by getting into these CTFs. So once there are different areas that are covered in CTFs. There's web exploitation, there's something called reverse engineering, binary exploitation, forensics, and maybe even mobile, and there may be other types of CTFs also. There's hardware CTF, IoT CTF, etc. So typically there are different areas. So if you're a beginner, don't get stuck with the first thing that you start liking. I would say explore different fields. Not just web. Most of the students are interested in only web security because they find that more easier. But there are different areas, and it is intellectually very exciting. It's very challenging. So it is nice that you try out different areas. And once you try out different areas, then you pick on a particular field. Maybe binary exploitation or whatever field that it excites you the most, and work on that for the next 2-3 years. So this is my suggestion, and keep practicing, and then you become expert. That's what our students do. When they join the team BIOS, they are like any other student except that they keep working. And the good thing about our university is that our chancellor has given this exception to these students. So you don't have to attend most of the classes. If you're already doing these CTFs and you're proving that you're doing well, you don't have to attend classes. So that's a nice incentive for students. And on top of that, our students also get grace marks. So once our chancellor told those who are playing football, they get grace marks. So why not for this? So there you go. You play some CTF and you also get grace marks. These are some of the other suggestions. Like all of you are attending the Red Team conference. There are a lot of conferences and meetups that happen, especially in Bangalore. So you could, once in a few months, you should go and attend these, conferences and meetups. There are a lot of free workshops and paid workshops that happen. And then try to give a talk. Maybe, you should have a goal that 1 year from now, you're going to learn particular topic and give a talk. So such things, help you to improve your confidence. Team BIOS and Traboda, we also offer a lot of courses from basic to advanced. These are some of the courses that we have. If somebody is interested, you can note down the URL, tinyurl.com/Traboda courses, and you can register there to show that you are interested. If you are interested, let us know. We will get back to you. So what if you are not really motivated enough to start the CTF, you need some help? Then the next best thing is you should go and attend some certification classes where somebody teaches you. You need that kind of push. Then these are a lot of certifications available. There is the CEH, there is many other certifications are available. This is another way that you can get into security. So with that, if you have any questions or any comments, I would welcome it. I can hear you. The mic isn't working.
Thank you. The talk was very informative. I just want to ask you about ChatGPT. With the existence of ChatGPT and the coding part, a lot of the coders are relying on ChatGPT. So do you think ChatGPT is making people more lazy or lazier and not creative is it affecting the coders and developers?
I don't have enough data at this point to tell you that, but there is no escape from it. We have to embrace it. There is no, so everybody has to use it. So right now what we do is, in the first year when students come, they do the regular way. They code the regular way and they understand how a lot of these things work. And then later on, they use ChatGPT. I remember, when I was working, I used to have expertise in this framework called the Struts framework, J2E framework called the Struts framework. It used to take about, 2 to 3 days of effort to build everything together. Then one fine day you click a button and, within seconds everything is done. So, we just have to embrace technology, I guess.
Thank you.
Any more questions? If you have a question, raise your hands. We'll get the microphone to you. I can see someone raising their hands. No? Guys, or hackers? Is it okay if I call you hackers? No questions? Okay, got one. Can I have the mic?
Thank you for the talk. What's my doubt is like how we can, is there any roadmap to get in network security like that? Can you provide any insights for that?
Yeah, whatever I suggested now should work for network security also. There are, CTF challenges. I just personally feel there are different ways of getting into any field, but my personal opinion is that, and what I have seen over the last 15 years, that when you take part in these particular competitions, there are a lot of new creative problems that keep coming up, different, problems. For example, there's these, network attack that happened and, you get that particular, Wireshark capture. And then, you're supposed to do a forensic analysis of it. So all such, problems come during a capture the flag contest. And you keep doing that, it will really help you get into it, to network security.
Yeah, there is a certificate called CCNA certificate, but it's paid. So is there any free options for that? Like in CTF means more of cryptography and web application and Android. That's the major part. Is there any specific website or specific information?
Specific for network security?
Yeah.
I think if you get started with, forensics, then, that may be a good way to get into network security. And then, you can think of writing your own tools, for doing various things. And there are a lot of open source tools. You can read the code of those tools and, try building your own tool. If you do build a tool, there is an opportunity to go to Black Hat for, there's something called as Arsenal, Black Hat Arsenal. You can check it out, where you can go and display your tools. So the way to do that is, you look at the previous year's Black Hat Arsenals and, look at those, what they have done already. And then you gain a lot of confidence. Okay, this is it. Maybe I can also do it. But always start, I do not know what level you are at, but start with, small things. Definitely read Kuros and Ross, the textbook on, computer networks, top-down approach, because it gives you a lot of, detailed idea about various protocols. Maybe, build a TCP stack on your own. There are assignments that are there that, in various universities that, have a toy TCP stack program. So these are, some things that you can try and slowly, build various tools and get into network security. So within a VM, you can try to perform some attacks in a safe environment. And, like that, you can build, these skills.
Is programming languages absolutely necessary or not? There is many field you said about that.
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm asking like, in overall, is it necessary or not? Programming language like Python?
Yeah, it depends on, suppose it is network security, definitely it will be useful for you to know, at least to write scripting, Python scripting and, all that, definitely good to know. But, maybe there are other areas where you don't need to know programming at all. For example, cyber law is there, there may be auditing, etc.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. Any more questions? All right. So, Mr. Vipin, can you please stay back for one moment? I want to invite Mr. Jaisal Ali to come up on stage and hand over the memento to Mr. Vipin Pavitran. Thank you so much for your insight, Mr. Vipin Pavitran. Now it's time for our next talk. And the topic of this session is empowering reconnaissance vision in finding vulnerabilities. And the speaker here is someone truly special. He's a well-known thought leader in penetration testing and bug bounty field, and he's one of the top 50 hackers in the entire world, and he has been recognized by the Department of Defense and IBM. He's a Hall of Fame hacker, widely recognized for vulnerability and offensive cybersecurity researcher who discovered over 2,000 vulnerabilities and helped secure over 200 private, public, and government organizations worldwide. Let me invite on stage Mr. Ahmed Halabi, Managing Director at Resecurity from Lebanon. Mike?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
I'm gonna get.
Can I have the wireless mic? Here you go, sir.
Test. Not detected. Let me try another. Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. There's a small technical glitch. We'll be fixing it right away.
Well, maybe I can use their computer, put the slides on USB. They have flash? Give me the flash, USB. I can put the flash in your computer and yeah. Sorry guys for this. Okay. Well, I guess I can start. So hello and welcome to my talk. My name is Ahmed Halabi. I'm sure that some of the bug bounty community or the ethical hackers heard about me before. So in this session, I'm gonna talk about reconnaissance, but we will talk more in depth. So who am I? Well, I started my journey in mid of 2019 as a security specialist, learning by my own. I'm a self-taught guy. So I took 5 months and I managed to be top hacker in the world for the US Department of Defense hacking Pentagon. New domain release or new subdomain release, I get notified via my Slack channel, and I get to find the vulnerabilities quicker than anyone else. So this is one of my strategies that I developed like 2 years ago, I guess. So, yes. You see, subdomain enumeration is simple part of the things that I do in order to find vulnerabilities. So we start from the roots, from the seeds, checking everything about the domain, because actually, if you know in bug bounty, let's say I want to target Google. Well, Google, they have a lot of acquisitions. So if you hack, for example, for Google, I was able to hack, there is like Google Maps, Waze, Maze, something like this. There is an application that also used for maps and also acquired by Google. So if you hack this application, you report to Google, they will pay you for it. So identifying the acquisitions will enlarge your landscape in finding more vulnerabilities. Sony, for example, they have a lot of acquisitions, they have a lot of subsidiaries. So all of them are in scope. That's why you are able to find more vulnerabilities. So going after the roots, the seeds, checking everything about the domain, the company, targeting their employees, because if you found a secret or leaked password of an employee, reported it as an open source intelligence or a threat intelligence, you will also get paid, because it is actually related to his work. Then going after the usual procedures, subdomain discovery, sorting, filtering, checking live domains from the non-ones. So if there is a domain that is not resolving, don't drop it, port scan it, because actually they may run UDP or whatever DNS is that is not related to the web protocols, and it may have something valuable as well. Smart city hacking, all of these, you can use them. You know, all the non-resolving domains, you can use them to hack OT devices as well. So services, and then we go after the subdomains. We go after the source code leakage, after also the endpoint matching, hidden information, content discovery, Wayback Machine, spidering, whatever. And there is some cool tool called the Nuclei. So Nuclei, I guess all of you, the bug bounty community, heard about it. But the powerful thing about the Nuclei is when you develop, customize the scripts that can work for you to identify specific vulnerabilities. So why developing a bash script for a certain attack if you can use the Nuclei template within simple line of codes to make it work or do the process for you? And you can automate the vulnerabilities using it, for example, and searching for extensions. And here, how you optimize the reconnaissance phase. For example, if there is an IIS server for Windows, why searching for Apache files? I only search for the IIS files, ASPX, whatever. And this is how you optimize. So you develop an automation system with a bit of AI, because actually artificial intelligence is not intelligence. You are the one who feeds the data. So you're making it intelligence. So when you develop this strategy and tell the machine what to do for you, you optimize it per the domain, per the asset, you will be able to make it more quicker as well. Extracting JavaScript files, analyzing them. So even from the JavaScript files, you can do a lot of stuff. Extract endpoints, extract secrets, match the APIs, and then try to replicate them in your customized request-based via any tool like Burp Suite. This is kind of the structure that I use to develop this system, because actually I wrote it. So you can do it however you want, but this was the server hosted online. these are my directories where the tools is stored, where the word list, and here the Go scripts, and also some Bash scripts here, and how to activate them one by one. And then you will have my PC, and here from where I control everything. So my PC work as an input and output. So I send the information from here, and I get it go to the server, and it return back with the results, for example. Well, that's it. I leave it now if you have any questions.
Microphone.
Yes, hello. Thank you, like always, I think very nice talk. Just, quick question about the acquisitions part, because I think it is an important aspect, especially in bug bounties. Because, for example, if you go to HackerOne, one of the bug bounty platforms, they will mention something that is in scope, like they will mention subdomains and so on. The acquisitions is a tricky part, and actually a lot of the bugs that you will find is from the acquisitions part. Not everyone will do it. So do you just Google search acquisitions, or do you use any APIs for that? Do you have any recommendations for a website, or how do you look for acquisitions?
Yes, so basically acquisitions, as Walid said, that it is a tricky thing, and if you just think how I can find more vulnerabilities and how I can get more money, so basically there are some APIs, there are some websites, some services that that they extract the acquisitions of certain domain or certain company and provide them to you. What I did basically is wrote a Bash script file that goes on the domains that state the acquisitions, extract them, and then get them into my machine.
Thank you.
So guys, do you have any other questions? If you have any questions, please raise your hands.
There is someone.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, can you pass the mic? Thank you.
Hi sir, so I'm Manavalan, and you showed me a slide on how you took a bug from GitLab. So you well mentioned something on the slide, how you bypass rate limiting. So can you explain something more about it?
Bypass what?
Rate limiting.
Yeah, right. So basically for rate limiting, there are a lot of techniques to bypass. You can see in the response, if you look for the rate limit cache, there is X rate limit something in the response. That is 50 or 30, and it keeps incrementing. Whenever you reach the limit, you get blocked. Yeah. So basically, this one cannot be bypassed by IP reputation or changing your IP or proxy or VPN or whatever. So, and they have this type of protection. So what I did is I studied the request timeline, the timestamp, the latency delay, and I checked how much time I need to send between each request, and I found a vulnerability in this, like, in this logic, which is if I send if I send two requests at the same time, we call it race condition. Okay. Yes. So if we do race condition, send two requests at the same time, wait half a second, send one request, wait 1 second, send two requests at the same time, it will bypass it. So it is set of tryings in order to identify how you can play with the server and bypass it.
Okay, so it was very much interesting, but can I refer any blog or something on which I can refer more about this, which you can?
Well, yes, I can try to refer some stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions? I think someone over there. Can you pass the mic to that person on your right? Yeah, thank you.
So we still have 5 minutes, I guess. Feel free to ask.
Thank you for the speech. My name is Jeshwin Janu. And now only I'm I'm trying for hacking for just 1 year. Can you share the daily routine of yours, like when you are studying, like how you manage the time to study and identify the bugs and...
Okay, I can tell you, but I don't recommend it. Yeah, because I studied the wrong way. So basically, I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
Yes, I have CH, I have ECSA, Certified Security Analyst, but then it was after I studied. Yeah. So basically, started in mid-2019, reading every article about a specific topic and then putting them under my own notes. And by that, for example, whenever I encounter any technology, anything, I just do research. Researching, trying to identify as much information as possible, then concluding everything into your own notes. This is how I did it. But it is not correct, so it will take a lot of time and a lot of dedication. What I recommend now is simply CH, ECSA, Port Swigger Academy, which our colleague showed before. So go to the RedTeam, Jaisal, RedTeam. So think about what Jaisal does is he checks like the modern technologies or modern, learning paths. He like check the best, put them all together, and give you the best resource. So no need for yourself to bother yourself. Go search here, there, and there. So you can directly go to the right path, right source. Just focus on learning instead of me focusing on searching, identifying the right information first, and then learning it. And then after you learn, sometimes you realize that you're learning in a wrong way. So you need to go back, check.
Thank you.
Any more questions? From the back rows? Anybody? Anybody? Okay.
So wonderful talk, sir. I have a question on how do you find the correct brute force list for every website, and how do you create, what tools do you use to create? I have tried using Took from TomNomNom, and I have tried several custom tools which I wrote from like scraping the website and using it as a word list, but how do you get such accuracies?
Yeah, TomNomNom, project discovery, these word lists are important, but the problem is they have a lot of noise. So you're not gonna brute force like 10,000 word inside, 10,000 requests, they're gonna block you. So the main, the important thing is to understand the domain you're targeting, what area they are in, what technology, identify the employees, study the employees, study the environment, and then make your own word list based on the facts that you were seeing from the reconnaissance phase. What I usually use is Sewell. I guess you know the word, the tool, Sewell, C-E-W-I-L. So it goes on the domains, it extracts the common words used inside the domain, and then I use my own script to remove the simple stuff like the main words, the formal words for blah, blah, blah. So I only focus on the keywords that the domain uses. Maybe it will be among them. Then I try to build the common...
Okay, I'll take it here. Can we have the mementos, please? A big round of applause for Mr. Gokul Sudhakar. It's incredible. Now up next is someone who's the youngest hacker to secure more than 100 websites. He's a world record holder, Mr. Mohammed Ashik. Come on, man, we need more support. He's the youngest hacker in the world. Okay. Now here's someone who got $3,000 as bug bounty bonus for discovering the flaws of an insurance company, Mr. Mohammed Atif. Now, how many of you here have heard about Hack the Box competition, Apocalypse CTF competition? How many? All right. So, now we're going to honor a team that secured 65th position in the Cyber Apocalypse CTF competition conducted by Hack the Box. Now, when I say 65, you might be wondering, but there were more than 6,400 teams and 12,552 players in the whole competition. So, let me welcome Team Novella. And I'm going to invite the team lead first, Mr. Fazalur Rahman. Another team member from Novella, Muhammad Ashik. He indeed is talented, getting 2 awards in the same event. Give it up for Muhammad Ashik. And now next, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Amal PK. Last but not least, from Team Novella, Mr. Mohsin bin Irshad. Come on, guys, make some noise. I still request you to stay there. And we are going to sign an MOU between ReSecurity and RedTeam Hacker Academy. For that, we'll have to make some arrangements, right? On the table. So probably you can, get down and the MOU, please. And to sign the MOU is a collaboration between ReSecurity and RedTeam. And ReSecurity is a cybersecurity company based in Los Angeles, and it's focused on next generation endpoint protection and intelligence-driven solutions. And the whole purpose of this MOU is to extend the ReSecurity, which is one of the leading cybersecurity threat intelligence solution, to RedTeam customers. Now, before I sign the MOU, let me invite a couple more people onto the stage. Mr. Taha Halabi. Can I have you on stage, please? Mrs. Jasna Jaisal. Ms. Jasna Jaisal. Mr. Faiz and Mr. Nazif. Mr. Jaisal Ali has signed the MOU. Now Mr. Ahmad Halabi, Managing Director of ReSecurity, is signing the MOU. Here's to new beginnings. Let this collaboration last forever. Thank you, dignitaries.
Thank you so much. Very privileged to sign an MOU with ReSecurity. We are looking forward to deliver more solutions, global services also from ReSecurity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend Jaisal. So basically, I know him since maybe 5 years ago, before even, we start all this work. So I told him, why not, escalating, as we do in privilege escalation in hacking, so escalating our friendship to a business opportunity, inshallah. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Now you can join the audience. Now it's time for talk number 3. And the topic is about defensive side, secure coding against hackers. And the speaker is none other than Mr. Taha Halabi from Resecurity, who's a software engineer at Resecurity. Mr. Taha is a renowned software engineer, blockchain, full-stack developer, and a computer vision engineer. He has tons of experience working with international companies in various roles as a CTO, team leader, and large-scale projects for universities, American University of Technology, AUT. So over to you, Mr. Taha.
Hello and welcome, guys. Nice to meet you.
I can use remote.
USD. It's working fine. Check it, please. Okay. Great. So, hello and welcome. My name is Taha Halabi, Client Relations Manager at Resecurity. And also, I'm software and security engineer. I'm also a full-stack blockchain developer and computer vision engineer. So, I worked before in my development journey career as a full-stack developer. These are some of the technical fields that I worked before. We have Web3, blockchain, NFT, web mobile, augmented reality. I'm also interested in gaming, machine learning, development, and also I'm application security engineer. So what I will talk today, I also help in getting funds and investments for American company. I worked before with American companies, European companies, so you can say I have more than 6 years of experience in the development and security career. I will talk today about the defensive side, secure coding against hackers. Not also this. What I want to tell you is that when, let's say, I will tell here is a simple example about it. So I have a query, select all from users table where user ID, concatenation, with the user ID. So here we have concatenation. So the text user ID is supposed to be the user ID. And this like what we guess. But what if the attacker makes this user ID like instead of 105, he put 1 equal 1. And usually 1 equal 1 is true. So why is this? Let's see. So select all from users where user ID equal 105 or 1 equal 1. So he injected, this is the user ID 105, and here or 1 equal 1, so you can say or true. So what will happen is that attacker now can get all my users' info because 1 equal 1 is true. So how to solve this? So in order to solve SQL injection, and I will not also talk about the solution. When you are working with any application, and you will work with SQL database, MySQL, try to avoid using concatenation, because concatenation is like a useless solution. And sometimes if you have a big query, like 10 lines of a query, concatenation is useless, and also you can say it's not like a stupid solution. So you will use something called SQL parameters for protection. So here, this is my query. Select all from users where user ID equal parameter 0. Where is this parameter? How can I give it a value? Check here another example. Insert into customers, customer name, address, city, values. So here, I can put my first parameter, second parameter, and third parameter. And usually in programming, we start from 0, not 1. So 0, 1, 2. And if you continue here, so we have db.execute. This is the first one, variable 1, variable 2, variable 3, variable 4, and that's it. So in order to solve SQL injection, we need only to use SQL parameters. Also, we have another solution, which is using powerful validation for users' parameters. So here I have title, and the title, its size is 12. I can also add another validation. It should be only string. So if the attacker tried to, let's say, put numbers in title, it will not work. Also, if you remember, my application before, like I put before XSS sanitizer. So it's now protected from XSS. And this validation will be done after the XSS middleware. So this code will be at the response, not at the middleware. So I'm making a validation about title. If he has some HTML elements, it will be like filtered by the XSS middleware. Here I have another example, like integer, size 10, tags like array, size 5. So attacker will face now like hard problems to try to inject SQL injection to my application. And here is an example in the Laravel. Has appointment, it can be required, and it can be just Boolean, true or false. It can't be no string, no numbers, no integers. We have also the date. We can like make some in Laravel exclude if has appointment, false required, and it's only date. So if the attacker put the date as a string, try to put integers, will not work. We have also the third one, it's required string. So we learned for SQL injection, we need to use SQL parameters, not concatenation, and we need to use powerful validation for user parameters. So now I have my routing group is connected to middleware's XSS, authentication middleware, and now it's connected to strong validation. Strong validation is not a middleware. The code, we will write it as a response. It's fine. Now I will talk about brute force. What is brute force? Brute force attack is when an attacker uses a system of trial and error in an attempt to guess valid user credentials. So let's say I have a login. a login form, email, and password, and the attacker can lie.
Now let me have on stage Mr. Dinesh Bareja, GRC Specialist and COO, Open Security Alliance. And now let me invite our own Mr. Jaisal Ali, Founder and Director of RedTeam Hacker Academy. Ms. Pooja Joshi, Senior Director, EC Council, India. Mr. Smith Gonzalez is going to be the moderator for this panel discussion. So let's begin.
So good morning, everyone. It's pretty amazing to be in Kochi and have a fantastic set of tech audience over here. And I'm able to see a lot amount of techie students and senior professionals. So friends, this panel that we have gotten, it's probably going, it's going to have a lot amount of basically impact on your mind, on what you have to do in the next 5 or 10 years. And trust me, it's pretty important for us to plan our careers in the right way and into the direction that is going to help us incline towards the eminent leadership level, probably designations that we would be looking at. And to climb to that, I am able to see a lot amount of students over here and people who are cyber aspirants, let me call it this way, young cyber aspirants who are shining with bounties, right? So it is important to see how you people can have the ability to go forward and get into the relevant boots. Be the CEO, be the CISO, be the CIO. But how to get to those positions and what is it needed? So I've got an amazing set of professionals over here who have got the industry experience and expertise. So what we are going to do is we are going to have a detailed sort of an understanding on what are the challenges and what are the things that have to be done right. And if they have been done right, we have amazing shining stars coming up. So with that, let me start up with my number one question, and this is very important. So often when I speak with people, I see, so now this applies to the people who are already in cybersecurity. So what's next? When an individual is there in cybersecurity, how does that individual is able to focus and plan a long-term cybersecurity career? What are the things that he has to consider with? So this is one of the questions that I would like to put into the panelists. So I start with Aditya on you. What is your take on this?
I think more than the technology, it's the attitude that you need to develop in order for you to become successful in any career, and specifically in cybersecurity. One of the things is that being inquisitive about the things that you want to learn and being passionate about what you want to do. If you got into cybersecurity just for the reason that you want to get a job or make more money or you saw some of your friends making good amount of money because of bounty, he bought a car, he bought a house, and you said, oh, this is so easy, let me just get into that. Do not do that. The only reason why you want to be in security, or specifically cybersecurity, is that if you believe truly, deep down inside, that I have the innate ability to go chase down the rabbit hole, do not get tired, and at the same time, I enjoy the entire process. And if you have that kind of a capability within yourself, the skill or that mindset, then obviously you're going to succeed with anything. So to answer the question from my side is just always about the attitude and the ability for you to just never stop trying.
You have basically highlighted one of the very important point, attitude. Attitude is very important. So with attitude, skills, soft skills, tech skills also play a big role. So with that, I have a question to you, Ms. Pooja. And here, I want to ask, you come from a body which is recognized for certifications, which is recognized to create people in terms of leveraging them towards greater heights, of getting into the C-level, towards getting into the technical domain. So I want to ask you, what way students or the cyber aspirants can focus on their tech skills? What are the areas that EC Council is in terms of promoting tech skills, basically?
All right, so thank you so much for the lovely question. I think Aditya just said about attitude, and that goes without saying that that is one of the mandate, but what's the next level? So if you want to make a career in cybersecurity, I think it starts from learning the basics, which is like knowing about cybersecurity, how the things happens here, what are the basic fundamental things here. Somebody asked the question that how can I get into network security, right? So once you know the basics, and the next level is learning the core concepts, how you do in your engineering, right? The first year is common, and then you get into the specialization. So once here you know the basics, your next step is to move towards core. Now in cybersecurity, I heard the experts, and it's brilliant information what they gave. So a student can actually decide whether I want to be in the offensive side or I want to be the defensive side, the red team or the blue team, though there are multiple options. Or are you saying that I can be on one side? No, it's up to you. You can be an expert in both, you can be an expert in one. Once you get this core knowledge of offensive and the defensive side of cybersecurity, and you already get into some kind of a job, you get some exposure to work on a hands-on experience, the next comes is the specialization. Now, which specialization I can get into? I mean, since most of you are students here, you know, for example, for engineering students, you get into civil, mechanical, electrical, IT, like that. So here also, you can pick and choose, or if you want to be across everywhere, probably you can keep on learning and become an expert in every area. But for examples, once you know the core, the next step is you can pick, you say that I want to be an expert in forensics.
People who are not savvy, think of it differently. So to answer your question about 15,000 rupees in parents, you have to tell the parent that I am worth this much. You have to understand that just by getting a certificate, you have not gone there. You still don't know, because the boy or the girl knows in her heart. He or she doesn't see that this friend of mine is getting 10 lakhs and I'm getting, or he's got a job of 10 lakhs. He knows that this guy knows better than me. I always had to ask him or her. So we all know our worth. We all knew that we will get 50% or 20% or 30%. We all know that. And it is for us to come and say, nee, I'm getting a break, let me get in over there. And the parent is to understand. It's not just about because he or she is my child, so he or she is God's gift to mankind. It's not that way.
But there is FOMO as well, right?
Sorry?
There is FOMO as well.
No, wait. Now you come to academia. You said 2 to 3 years they will be right there.
Not exactly 2 to 3 years. In some coming years, because we are trying to integrate the curriculum.
I know some of your initiatives. I'm sorry to say, it's a drop in the ocean. Okay, that's one. The second thing is this, that the EC Council curriculum, which I have seen in a couple of places, that has been blindly followed. There is no inventiveness over there because those fellows don't know what they are doing. Unfortunately, again, you have to maybe, give them a bit more intelligence. Like I said, 360 degrees about what you are doing, and not just over there. The problem with academia also is very simple. I just know that you are academia, and maybe I don't know any others over here. Which academy institution in the country is not selling placements? I have yet to see any one institute, any one university talk about the quality of their courses or the quality of their labs. They all talk about 1 crore placement, 50 lakhs placement, Google came here, he came here, he came here. They don't make my name that he came here. I would not go. What I get is the CGPA 5. Fortunately, my experience has been that the CGPA 5 or 4 boy or girl has stayed with me for a year or so and gone to 3x or 10x. But that is the problem. See, we are thinking only money.
customized topic tailored for their needs is a very important factor to consider in the future. Dynamic topic.
Great inputs, yeah.
Any questions we have?
Yeah. So I just want to ask, like, did we really reach a point where university degrees are not required, like, masters in cybersecurity or just cybersecurity in general? I'll just give, an example. For example, Facebook. They do a very rigorous, interview process. So, for example, a position like product security, where they will do like bug hunting and so on. They will really not care at all about like the university degrees. Maybe you don't have any degrees. You just know what you're doing. They will ask you what code did you contribute to, what bugs did you find, all of these things. Sometimes they don't even ask about certifications. They want to see your actual talent, what you can do. So what's your take on this point?
So to the panelist or?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone would like to answer this?
Okay, maybe I can take a quick take on that before Jajal you go. You're right. It's just not about the certification. Certification gives you the badge because at least I know you've done the basic homework. Certification for us or for anybody is just, okay, you've just done the basic homework. We know that. It's simple as like when you go to a school or college, you get a degree. But there's much more beyond that, which is where what he was talking about. I'm a self-taught guy. I mean, I can learn anything. That's the attitude. So as long as if you are able to demonstrate to your potential employer that you have that attitude. For example, when I take an interview in my office for any cybersecurity researcher or analyst, the first thing that I'd ask that person to do is that, okay, do you have a mobile phone? The person says, yes, we do have. Can I have the mobile phone? They hand over the mobile. I said, open up the YouTube or your browser history and then show it to me. They will say, oh, this is privacy. I don't want to show it. Or they will say, like, the reason why I want to see that is because I at least want to see that what are you browsing every single time. If you are watching your dance videos or you're watching your TikTok or chasing any girls or anything else, I mean, I'm sure you're not the right candidate for me. But if I see your history as, okay, you're looking into all trying to learn something within security, it could be anything. I know that you're inquisitive. You have that thing, you have the mindset. That's when I said, okay, let's talk now. This is my first step. Second question I sometimes ask, I mean, this is for every single person of you. All of you guys, they crib about, oh, we don't have a lab. We don't have a lab where we can do the hacking. Probably the academy did not invest. I'm going to ask you, every single person of you have a router at your home. It's an ISP that you have. How many of you have tried to even go and exploit your own router, your neighbor's router? It all starts from that curious thing to see where you begin. You don't need to have that. You can go off from the Amazon, you can buy a Raspberry Pi for 8,000, 10,000 bucks, which is like peanuts. And then you can just put that in, try to install servers, try to do something about it. The idea is that at least go, initiate, try. If you don't try, even if you don't, I mean, is that the language that is causing you the barrier right now not to ask the question? Because I see only here being asked. You guys are there. Is it the language? You speak in Malayalam. There would be a translator here who would be able to translate. I can speak back in Malayalam and I can tell you that whatever. Speak, ask question, be curious. Ask that why are you saying what you're saying? What gives you the authority? Ask. That's the basic thing. Have that curiosity, the mindset of a small child. Have that mindset. And then from there you can go places. Sorry, I took it.
All of what you said is fantastic, except for one part. The girls part. Now, this is why I said don't take a mentor. Now, if this mentor doesn't like to go and, he got married, maybe arranged marriage, and he did not go patao girls and all that, please do not listen to him.
So, can I add comment for... Yeah, so quickly, I want to say that I guess in this world we need to balance between the commercial or industrial certifications and the technical, gaining knowledge like me. So, learning from experience is good, but it will not replace learning from the university or, Yeah, that's why. First, I was like this. I want to learn by my own. I want to take certifications. But then my father told me, well, but you can gather all the knowledge from technical perspective alone, but the terminologies, the keywords, the industrial measures, words cannot be gathered alone unless you take something official. And yeah, so balancing between commercial side, the university, these certifications with the technical experience is something very important.
Just to add on, it's a brilliant point. I think if we have all the three together, I think the success is very close to us. So if we, it's for all the youngsters who are sitting here, it's very simple. If you want to fly abroad, you need to have your passport, you need to have your tickets, and you need to have visas. Can you fly without one thing? No, it's three. So these are the three things which he rightly said is very important. Your degrees, your technical information, your industry experience, and all these three things will actually help you to make a successful career in any field, irrespective whether it is cybersecurity or not.
So with this, considering time's bandwidth, so we conclude, and I would like to thank my entire panelists for giving amazing insight. It was certainly an eye-opener insights to get a broader sense of clarity on what actually it takes for an individual to have a proper career in cybersecurity. So I would like to thank everyone. Thank you so much for giving amazing insights. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. That was such a fruitful and enlightening discussion. Now, Mr. Jaisal will hand over the mementos to all the dignitaries. Can we have the mementos, please? Mr. Dinesh Bareja, can you step forward and receive the memento? Thank you, Mr. Dinesh. Now, Ms. Pooja Joshi, please step forward and take your memento. Mr. Aditya P.S. And finally, Mr. Smith Gonzalez. Thank you, everybody. Now, let's take a short break. We'll meet after lunch exactly at 2:30 p.m. Right? Help yourself with the food. Thank you.
What you can do with these things, transferring files, modifying registry, rebooting, and a lot of other things. And the same goes here, just to show you what, the time I spent on kind of documenting how the API behaves. For example, the transfer file method, the parameters here, we have the destination path, and you have the file name, then you have the data, the actual contents of the file, and then the response. So it is self-explanatory. Again, this one is an interesting one. This one is an interesting request, because usually as hackers, the way we demonstrate our hack is, let's say, showing a smiley face, a pop-up on your computer. Just see a pop-up on your computer. It means I have remote code execution and I hacked your system. This one was an interesting one, because when I sent this, I sent this request to an actual store of ours. Their POS printer was printing. So I printed a smiley face on that POS printer, and then I called the store and I asked him, did it print? He said yes. So from my own laptop, I was able to print stuff on the POS printer that prints receipts. And this receipt printer does not have to be connected through a network cable. It can be a serial port. It can be anything. Because you're sending this request to the server is sending it to the POS, and the POS is printing. So that's how it works. This was an interesting one. So just an example of some of the methods. So this is a transfer file. Essentially, can you imagine like they had this API method that transfer files without any authentication. So just an idea, the possibilities that you can find in all of this software, be it Oracle or be it anything else, you might find these easy catches, I would say. And this is affecting, a lot of brands, a lot of networks. So this is just an example, just an evidence. Once I transferred the file, here it's a text file. This is a virus, just an evidence. The same goes with this request. So here we are modifying the registry key. I think this particular screenshot also, like you can find like a startup value here. So probably once the system restarts, it will start, an exe or an application of your choosing. Like if you can drop software, you can drop a malware to that server. You then send this request and make it run after restart. Again, here just an evidence before and after. So the request that I sent actually modified everything, just quick evidence. Sorry. This is not there. So if you want to test this, because obviously, like I mentioned, this software will be there in a lot of companies, hundreds of companies, maybe thousands of companies. So if you are at an engagement, red team engagement, you're doing some red teaming, just take note of this. If your client is in the food and beverage industry, you have to take note of this. So the main thing here is port 50123, a TCP port 50123. So if you do an Nmap scan for this port, TCP port 50123, and you find it open, then go ahead and try this exploit that I'm demonstrating. So here I had all of these, and I had my attacker machine with Kali Linux. Hopefully, I'll have some time and demonstrate a quick demo also. So again, here I'm modifying a value here. This is not important. Here's the, the Python script that I wrote, or the exploit that I wrote. Essentially, once you execute this, it will transfer a file. Then it will modify the registry to run this file after startup, and then it will reboot the system. After reboot, once the user logs in, then you will get an RCE. And back a little bit, this is not just a normal RCE. You will get anti-authority system. So if you compare it to Linux, on Linux the highest user is root. On Linux, on Windows, it is anti-authority system. So you will get a system shell. Again, this is just a demonstration here. I'm using just the basic interpreter reverse shell here. And as you can see, who am I? Anti-authority system. So that's it. I can probably show a quick demo of how this works. So let me do that, and I hope the demo gods are with me. So let me explain a little bit. We have two systems here. So this is the attacker system. We have Kali Linux. And then we have the Oracle server that I was talking about, which is vulnerable, of course. So the other one is this one. Probably it's very old, so don't mind that. The concept is the same. Screen is. 1 second. Let me close this. If I have to, 1 second. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So again, like I said, this is the Kali system, and okay, and this is.
We have few things with us. We will distribute the hardware. Go through it, and we may not have one-on-one interaction on the hardware, but I have a bunch of hardware so that you guys can see it close up. It won't make justice if I show it on the screen. Hardware is something you have to touch. So please, the volunteers will help you in distributing it and get your hands on the hardware. Yeah, have you guys downloaded the OVA files we have shared? Yeah, great. So you guys might have noticed there's nothing in it. I mean, there are just few tools which are pre-installed. That's what we were expecting to share with you. I mean, there are few people who have M1 chip. You guys can go with the regular Kali machine. It will totally work. There's nothing extra. We'll be installing the tools on the screen as well. We've just given it so that you guys come prepared, and if you don't, in case you don't have internet. There's also a hidden flag for the CTF in the OVA file. So if someone has found it, we'll share a link later, and you can upload. Send the flag over there, and whoever sends it first get something. So,
guys, so we will be sharing the PPT and the other files later on also. So, I mean, it's cool, right? Let's get little chill. It's gonna be long.
yeah, it will be a long, boring theoretical workshop. So, be prepared. Talking about IoT, we may have heard this term a lot. I mean, everybody knows what IoT is. Stuff that connects to the internet, other than any computer which is not a traditional laptop or a mobile phone, is basically an IoT device. We may have come across a couple of things. I mean, ATM machines, IoT. Can you guys explain or give some examples for the IoT devices? Alexa, who said that? Oh yeah, Alexa is an IoT device. Has someone tried hacking Alexa? You did? Okay, yeah, great. So that is something you can start with. It's a really nice, hardware hacking beginners tool, but not the modern Alexas. If you get access to a very old, generation 1 Alexa, that will be really nice, because there are already tutorials on the internet which you can follow to, hack them. So,
Okay. Yeah, got it. So, yeah, guys, the very first slide, as we can see, the trend of IoT is going high and high, right? Everywhere we have IoT, we have little low. Oh. Guys, it is little low. Voice?
It's quite low. Yeah.
It's quite low. Or you guys? Take it. Good. Okay. So, guys, as we can see the trend, the IoT sector is getting hype, right? Everywhere we see IoT device, even in our homes, right? We have Alexa, we have Google Mini. And there are a lot of IoT devices we use every day. Few people have been wearing the bands, right? Fitness band. That is also a kind of IoT device, correct? So, as we see, the market is growing high and high. Businesses are industry is making business out of it, right? Everything is about business. So once there is a big business, there will be attackers who will be trying to challenge these things which has been implemented safely according to the industry, and they will try to break it, right? At the same time, there are security researchers who are helping finding out vulnerability and then submitting it through bug bounty program, so that company can understand the security loophole and they can fix it, right? You might have heard about the pacemaker. So people who have heart disease, right, they use a pacemaker, right? So think a scenario where a hacker would able to gain, right? You guys getting me, right? So think of a scenario where hackers gonna get a connection to your pacemaker. He can literally stop your heartbeat. Right, so you can see the impact, right, of the vulnerability. So the impact is very high. So we also need to make sure that we increase our security standard of IoT hardwares, right?
I mean, critical systems like these are generally not connected to the internet. But yeah, I mean, there are ways in which things could be possible.
Right. If you go into hospital, there are new modern technologies which analyze your heartbeat and other thing, and then they send that data to a certain server. They hold that data. Even though according to the HIPAA compliance, one cannot share a personal data, health PII data to any one organization to any organization within our organization also and to other organization also, right, without the consent of a patient, right? So let's say you have a certain disease, and if someone telling about your health record to someone else, there could be a very big vulnerability. I mean, as in attacker can use those informations to exploit you. So I think I would share a case where recently there was a certain API in my organization, and we found out that API was selling the bank account balance, and the dev team was telling that okay, it's just a bank account balance, but there could be a huge scenario with that. Attacker can find out what the person has a balance in his bank account, and he can target accordingly, right? He will see, okay, this guy has a lot of money, let's play with him. And that's how the world is. And that's where you come as a security engineer, security consultant, security researcher. You find out this vulnerability, and you had taken auth to fix these vulnerabilities so that you will be in a peace situation, right?
Yeah. Sorry for the screen. I'm trying to install so that I can show you the hardware on the screen using my phone's camera. Here. Hi. Continue in the middle. 5, 10. Not connect. Okay, great. It's not. Yeah, no problem. I'll present. Now that the screen's working. Okay, great. Now you guys can see what's on my desk. Is it enough? I mean, should I make it much bigger? Oh, the camera doesn't rotate? Sad. Okay, I mean, I just needed it.
Okay. So, guys, I hope everyone knows about Bermuda Triangle, right? Right? When some ship goes there, nobody's come out. That's an analogy. So, in security, we have this CIA Bermuda Triangle. Okay. Basically, it's a framework which tell you the security loopholes. So, C stand for confidentiality, I for integrity, A for availability. So, if you have to understand that is there any vulnerability, you need to compare with this model, right? So, you need to check whether is any of your confidential data is being hampered? If it is, then you are inside this triangle, right? So it's a security vulnerability. If there is an integrity issue, what is integrity issue? Integrity issue means you are able to change certain things in very layman language. You are able to change certain things in a file which you are not permitted, you are not authorized, right? So if you can do that, then there is a integrity issue, right? Next thing is availability. So can you make the system unavailable, right? So in recent talk we saw RC, right? So with the RC, can you make the system shut down. So you will make the whole service unavailable. So if you have that capability, then it's a security issue. So this is I would say a security Bermuda Triangle. If you are inside it, sir, you are gone, right?
Oh, sorry about this. Before UART and JTAG SWD exploitation, we will first see how, what happens when you open an, IoT device. You generally end up finding a PCB, correct? That's what we all have done, and that's where we have stopped. So I'll show you a few examples of PCBs, and I'll show you what each component does and what it means and what we are interested in hacking, right? So it's a very good skill to, somehow get to identify components. Just by looking at a component, you would know, yeah, this is where I have to enter. Else it looks like a big city from space. Let me show you one. You'll need few tools, by the way. If you want to start or get into hardware hacking, it's not mandatory, but it will make your life much easier. Get a soldering iron like this. This one is a little expensive. It cost me 800 rupees, but it's a precision iron. It can also control the temperature using few dials. It's useful in most cases, and it works all the time. If not, you can get one like this. This I have been using for past 3 years, and it works like a charm all the time. So soldering iron is something you need. Why? Because you can connect tools to the PCB, or you can desolder chips. You can remove chips off of PCBs and then read them later. Maybe there's some flash memory. Like how does your pen drive work? It has a chip which stores data, right? So now you can remove it off, and then you can do your testing elsewhere if required in certain situations. 1 second.
And there are more cheaper version of these soldering irons. You can go to the nearest electronic shop and can ask. I think for 150 bucks you can get.
Yeah, Kochi has really nice electronic shops, by the way. Yesterday I got the chance to,